With the global geopolitical scenario undergoing a transformation that is marked by the emergence of formidable stealth fighters from Russia and China, a next-generation fighter jet, which was initially rejected by United States military officials in 1990, has risen from the shadows and is getting ready to take on competitions with its shocking capabilities. Questions surround this multi-role stealth fighter, which has found its way to Japan. Does it have the ability to outshine its competitors in the jet world? Why was it rejected by the United States in the first place? Join us as we explore the modernized YF-23 that Japan has brought back to life. In the late 1970s, American spy satellites noticed new and powerful Soviet fighter jets, the Su-27 and MiG-29. This made the United States worried because these Soviet planes were expected to outperform the existing American fighter jets, but instead they were observed to have advantages over the American fighter jets. In response to this development, the United States Air Force sought information from various aerospace companies in 1981 to explore potential features for an advanced tactical fighter intended to replace the existing F-15 Eagle, a twin-engine, all-weather tactical fighter jet that McDonnell Douglas designed. In 1981, the U.S. Air Force asked aerospace companies for ideas to create a better fighter plane to replace the F-15 Eagle. The focus was on air-to-air combat. The new jets, called the Advanced Tactical Fighter, are aimed to use advanced technologies like lightweight materials, improved flight controls, more powerful engines, and stealth technology. The USAF asked different companies to submit proposals, and in 1985, they officially sought designs from various manufacturers. At the same time, the U.S. Navy planned to replace its F-14 Tomcat with a version of the ATF winner through the Navalized Advanced Tactical Fighter program. They intended to buy 546 aircraft, while the USAF planned to purchase 750. In 1986, several companies submitted proposals for a demonstration and validation phase, and Lockheed, Boeing, General Dynamics, McDonnell Douglas, Northrop Grumman, and Rockwell were part of the competition. Lockheed and Northrop were chosen as finalists in October 1986. The Lockheed YF-22 and Northrop YF-23 were developed and tested as prototypes over 50 months. The YF-23 was designed to meet USAF requirements for survival, supersonic cruising, stealth, and easy maintenance. It had to fly at supersonic speeds without using afterburners for long, similar to the B-2 Spirit and FA-18 Hornet. The YF-23's prototype, named Gray Ghost, had its maiden flight in 1990, followed by the second prototype, nicknamed Spider, in 1991. The planes were designed to be less detectable by radar and infrared systems. The YF-23 had unique features, and its prototype briefly had a red hourglass shape painted on it to prevent ground crew injuries, resembling the marking on a Black Widow Spider. However, this was later removed. They considered using a version of the YF-23, the NATF-23, for Navy planes instead of the F-14 Tomcat. At first, they looked at the regular YF-23 design, but it wouldn't work well on aircraft carriers because of problems with space, handling, storage, landing, and takeoff. Boeing gave a wind tunnel model used for testing called DP-527 to a Veterans Memorial Park in 2001. The YF-23A, also known as DP-117K, looked different from usual planes. It had diamond-shaped wings and a V-shaped tail that could move. The cockpit was high up near the front for better visibility. It had a tricycle landing gear with one wheel in the front and two in the back. The weapons bay was under the plane between the front and back landing gears. It had two turbofan engines, each in a separate part on the sides of the plane. The front openings were trapezoidal, with special panels to absorb turbulent air and vented over the wings. The first YF-23 had Pratt & Whitney engines, and the second had General Electric engines. Unlike the YF-22, the YF-23 didn't use thrust vectoring. The exhaust from the engines went through troughs lined with tiles, like on the B-2, to cool and shield them from heat-seeking missiles. The YF-23 could fly fast without using afterburners, and a computer system managed its flight controls. It could roll by raising flaps and ailerons on one side and lowering them on the other. The V-tail fins could move for pitch control, and the tail fins could rotate for yaw. Test pilot Paul Metz said the YF-23 could handle high angles better than older planes, up to 60 degrees. To slow down, the wing flaps and ailerons on both sides could be moved in a way that acted like brakes. To save money during testing, they used some parts from other planes. The planned F-23 design, either with the F-119 or F-120 engines, would have differed from the YF-23 prototypes in a few ways. Instead of one weapons bay, the new design would have two bays in the longer front part of the plane. The front bay would carry short-range AIM-9 missiles, and a rotary cannon would be on the left side of the front part. The plane's overall length would be a bit longer, the inside space would be bigger, the nose would be larger to fit mission systems like radar, and the front part would have less noticeable changes, raised to the same level as the front edge of the wing. They removed the thrust reversers to make the engine parts smaller and rounder, filling the space between them to keep the plane's shape smooth. The inlet design changed from a trapezoidal shape with suction panels to a half-circle bump. The pattern on the back of the plane and tail would have fewer serrations, and the engine thrust lines would be angled in by 1.5 degrees from the center. The naval NATF-23 version, shown in drawings in the 2010s, was quite different. The diamond-shaped wings were moved back as much as possible, and the plane had regular vertical tails instead of the V-tail with serrations for better stealth and maneuverability at low speeds on aircraft carriers. It could fold its wings for storage on the flight deck and had stronger landing gear, a tail hook, canards for carrier landings, and thrust vectoring nozzles. The intakes were different, shaped like a quarter circle with serrations and a bumped surface. The NATF-23 had a wider wingspan of 48 feet, and the length was shorter at 62 feet. The first YF-23, which had Pratt & Whitney engines, flew fast at Mach 1.43 on September 18, 1990. The second one, with General Electric engines, went even faster at Mach 1.72 on November 29, 1990. Comparatively, the YF-22 reached Mach 1.58 in supercruise. The YF-23 was tested up to a top speed of Mach 1.8 with afterburners and could tilt up to 25 degrees. Even though the actual top speed is a secret, sources suggest it's more than Mach 2 at high altitude with full afterburners. The YF-23's weapons bay was set up for launching weapons, and they tested the acoustics of the weapons bay, but they didn't fire any missiles. The YF-23 did a quick combat demo with 6 flights in just 10 hours on November 30th, 1990. Testing continued into December, and both YF-23s flew 50 times for 65.2 hours. The YF-23 was better at being sneaky and faster, but it maneuvers as well as the YF-22 could. After testing for 4 years, the YF-22 was chosen in 1991. They turned its design into the F-22 Raptor, which started flying in 1997 and became active in 2005. Even though the Navy considered using this new plane on their ships, they decided not to. Now the 2 YF-23 prototypes are in museums. In December 1990, both teams shared their reviews for making the planes for real. On April 23, 1991, the Secretary of the Air Force said the YF-22 won. The Air Force chose the F-119 engine for the real F-22 planes. They picked the YF-22 because it got better ratings, had fewer problems, and was managed more effectively. Some people believe the YF-22 was also thought to work well for the Navy's NATF, but the Navy stopped working on NATF by 1992. After the competition, both YF-23s were sent to NASA's Dryden Flight Research Center at Edwards AFB, California, without their engines. NASA planned to use one of them to study how well-predicted loads matched actual flight results, but it didn't happen. The YF-23s stayed in storage until mid-1996 when they were sent to museums. After this defeat, the YF-23 completely vanished just to resurface in Japan, thousands of miles away from its birthplace. But unlike when it was rejected, this fighter jet rose to the surface in a modernized reincarnation, thousands of miles away from its birthplace. Japan's decision to revive the YF-23 within the framework of the ambitious F-3 stealth fighter program is a strategic maneuver that holds profound implications for the country's defense landscape. Spearheading this endeavor is Mitsubishi Heavy Industries, a powerhouse in Japanese aerospace innovation. The collaboration with U.S. aerospace giants Lockheed Martin and Northrop Grumman signifies a pivotal shift in Japan's defense strategy, signaling an intention to harness the forefront of U.S. aerospace technology. At its core, the resurrection of the YF-23 is not merely a revival of an iconic aircraft, but a calculated move to position Japan as a formidable player in the global defense arena. The collaboration aims to capitalize on the strengths of both nations, Japan's electronic and jet engine expertise, and the U.S.'s proven track record in stealth technology. This synergy is strategically aimed at addressing the limitations inherent in existing platforms, particularly the F-35. The F-3 program's success could position Japan as a key player in the export of advanced fighter aircraft, opening avenues for strategic partnerships with other nations. This could contribute to a more interconnected and collaborative global defense landscape, where shared interests and challenges drive joint initiatives in technology, development, and capability enhancement. One of the YF-23's standout capabilities is its impressive speed, having demonstrated a cruising velocity of Mach 1.8 without afterburners. This underscores its high-performance attributes and positions it as a formidable force in scenarios demanding rapid response and agility. Beyond its speed and aerodynamics, the YF-23's integrated circuit design offers advantages over conventional models. By reducing frontal resistance, this design allows for increased internal volume, a critical feature for stealth aircraft carrying armaments internally without compromising radar visibility. This feature contributes to the aircraft's ability to engage air and ground targets while maintaining virtual invisibility within the enemy's weapon range. Furthermore, the YF-23's technological prowess is exemplified by its capacity to achieve effective control at supercritical angles of attack, reaching up to 60 degrees. In the realm of fighter aircraft, maneuverability is a paramount factor. This capability positions the YF-23 as a potential game-changer. The revived YF-23, as part of the F-3 initiative, embodies a strategic balance between maneuverability and stealth. This technological equilibrium is particularly noteworthy as it positions Japan to carve a unique niche in the global defense landscape. Collaborating with U.S. partners, Japan aims to leverage the YF-23's technological advantages, aligning them with its expertise in electronics and jet engines through initiatives like the ATX program. Even though the F-3 program seems promising, it has its share of challenges and things to consider. Bringing back the YF-23 raises questions about whether it will be accepted in the U.S., where the F-22 and F-35 are already in use. In 1990, the U.S. chose the YF-22 over the YF-23, so introducing a similar aircraft now means recognizing past decisions and potential issues. For the F-3 program to succeed, it needs approval from different authorities like the Pentagon, the Senate, and the White House. These decisions are complicated and involve politics, strategy, and money. Also, how the F-3 is received by the U.S. military and how well it fits with existing capabilities will be carefully examined. In addition, Japan also plans to introduce the FX, also referred to as the Godzilla FX, a fighter jet that can effectively operate alongside the F-3. The FX is a twin-engine stealth fighter distinguished by its considerable size. This size aims to extend the fighter's range and augment its payload capacity. Notably, the technological innovations trialed in the X-2 technology demonstrator are slated for seamless integration into the FX fighter. Defense Minister Taro Kono has underscored the FX's robust network capabilities and remarkable capability to carry a more extensive arsenal of missiles than the F-35. The complex process of creating the FX starts with making detailed initial designs. These designs were carefully inspected with the use of a 3D digital system. The blueprints were also adjusted to match how the FX is expected to work and perform. After that, a thorough evaluation happens using a high-tech simulator created by the Technical Research Division. Skilled pilots from the Japan Air Self-Defense Force use this simulator to closely examine a large set of data, including avionics, stealth features, and engine details. The evaluation includes simulations of air-to-air combat, giving a complete look at how well the design works and finding areas that need to be improved. The new FX has many improvements compared to the old one. One big improvement made is the replacement of the old hydraulic systems with new electric actuators to make the inside of the plane more efficient. This switch to electric actuators is needed because the plane has to be stealthy, with hidden weapon bays and air ducts. Electric actuators are easier to install since they only need electric wiring, and there's no need for complicated hydraulic pipes. This change makes the installation process simpler, removes restrictions, reduces weight, and makes the plane easier to maneuver. These electric actuators are used in the fighter's flight control and undercarriage wheel braking systems. The fighter jet uses modern techniques to create a light and flexible structure. These techniques involve combining materials with adhesive molding, reducing traditional fasteners' needs. The area around the engines is protected with heat shields, allowing the use of lightweight materials like aluminum alloys and carbon fiber reinforced polymers. Additionally, advanced methods such as computer-aided design and finite element method models help thoroughly check the plane's structure. By extending the use of certain materials and techniques to the entire body of the plane, the overall weight is reduced, and the production process becomes more efficient, cutting down on the time needed compared to the usual methods. To handle the heat from avionics systems, a special heat transfer system is carefully added. This system is designed like a vapor compression refrigeration cycle to strengthen the air and liquid cooling system. It helps the plane work well by effectively managing the heat produced. The FX has special sensors to better find stealth aircraft. These sensors include a radar that can actively scan areas, a sensor that picks up radio signals without sending any, and a camera that works with infrared light. The radar and radio frequency sensors use advanced gallium nitride technology, making them work much better. To protect itself, the FX has a strong RF self-defense system that's really good at dealing with possible dangers from other aircraft, air-to-air missiles, and surface-to-air missiles. This system combines electronic support measures and electronic countermeasures. The fighter also has antennas on its wings and tail flap for better self-defense. The fighter's helmet-mounted display system is also impressive. It gives the pilot a wide view, a display with multiple colors, and features like voice recognition and 3D sound. This makes the pilot more aware of what's happening and helps them complete missions effectively. To make it harder for radars to spot, the FX carefully uses twisty air ducts and keeps its weapons inside. It also uses advanced technologies like electromagnetic wave absorbers and special materials to lower its radar reflection even more. The FX relies on quiet methods to detect things without giving away its position, and it uses a special antenna technology that creates a temporary plasma to deflect radio waves. This helps the fighter stay hidden while still being able to communicate. In the beginning, the FX was planned to have 2 XF-9 engines. The details of the prototype engine revealed in 2018 showed it could produce a military thrust of 107 kN or more and an afterburner thrust of 147 kN or more. The XF-9 engine is flexible and can be adjusted to fit different needs. The goal for the future fighter engine is to reach a maximum thrust of 196 kN, as shared at the ATLA Technology Symposium 2018. One impressive thing about the XF-9 engine is that it can handle high temperatures, up to 1800 degrees Celsius, while compacting. For example, the XF-9's engine inlet is 30% smaller than the General Electric F-110 used in the F-2. This smaller design is crucial for fitting internal weapons and keeping the aircraft stealthy. The XF-9 engines provide a lot of power, giving out 180 kilowatt of electrical power, potentially reaching 360 kilowatt when both are used. This high energy generation is important for running the fighter's advanced technology and equipment. Additionally, the engines have special nozzles that can move in 3 dimensions. This feature helps the aircraft move well and keeps it stealthy. These nozzles can change the thrust direction by up to 20 degrees in all directions, making the fighter more powerful and agile. The ASM-3 missile is made just for the FX to do the job of the F-22. Also, the FX will have a new laser weapon to stop incoming missiles. This weapon cleverly uses the aircraft's radar system to work, using electron tube amplifiers that are efficient and small. The development of the F-3 and the FX is widely seen within Japan as a unique opportunity to reinvigorate the nation's defense and aerospace industries while simultaneously establishing a strong presence in the international arms market. Thanks for watching. While you are still here, click on the link on your screen to check out another of our videos. See you there.